welcome to the live today where we're going to be talking about when should you learn lead guitar, right? So this is going to be fun. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me here today. This is going to be cool. Do let me know down in the comments where you're from. What are you doing here? Name, where you're from, all that fun stuff, because it's always fun to get to know you. I'll try to keep an eye on the comments as I go through this stuff today. So we'll just give a couple of minutes. Nah, never mind. We're just going to jump right into it. I thought maybe we should give a couple of minutes in case more people come in, but we're just going to jump in. They're lost if they're missing out, and they can watch the replay, right? So here we go. So when should you learn lead guitar? I mean, this is a big thing because when it comes to learning guitar, it's not the way that most people think it is. Most people approach the guitar much like we approach learning math or science in school, right? So when you're learning math in school, you start out with counting the numbers and then doing addition and then subtraction and then multiplication and then division, and then it gets harder and harder as you go, right? Guitar, though, is not a linear logical process like that. That's kind of the crazy thing about it. So when it comes to learning guitar, most methods start out with, okay, you're going to learn this first and then this first, and they try to take a linear, logical, step-by-step approach. However, music is not math and it's not science, even though it uses both of those things. And, you know, sometimes I've told students music is math in real time in actual spaces. But that's a whole other discussion. Music, though, is art. And so you have to approach it like learning art, and it's totally different because when it comes to guitar, there are multiple different things that you need to learn. So if you take the traditional approach of, okay, first we're going to learn thing number 1 and master that, and then we'll move on to thing number 2 and master that, and then we'll learn thing number 3 and master that, that's going to take a long time to get really good. Because here's the thing, guitar isn't just a linear logical process like that where it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Because here's the trick. With guitar, you have multiple areas that you have to improve simultaneously. That's where it's a little bit different. And so when it comes to learning guitar, there's lots of different things to do because you've got your playing technique, you've got your music theory knowledge, you've got your musicianship, your ability to play with other people, you've got performance skills, and then within those, you've got other things too. Like within your playing technique, you can easily break your playing technique down into rhythm guitar, which is where most people start out when they learn guitar, and also lead guitar. Now, both of those are important, and here's the trick. Most people spend all their time learning rhythm guitar. And they learn rhythm guitar and they play nothing but chords and strum songs and stuff like that. And that's awesome. You need to do that. It is necessary. But here's the trick. Lead guitar doesn't necessarily have to come after after rhythm guitar. Jeez, excuse me there. So here's what I propose. When I'm working with students in person, I get them doing a few things with rhythm stuff and playing some songs and having fun. But it's really quick when I jump them into playing lead guitar because I think that lead guitar is just another area of your playing that you need to develop that is a separate skill from your rhythm guitar. Now, do they interact with each other? Yes. Can you put them together? Yes. Do your skills transfer from rhythm guitar to lead guitar? Yeah, there are some things that transfer and they work together that way. But I think of learning guitar a little bit more like a video game or playing D&D, which honestly, I've only played the video games like D&D. I've never actually played Dungeons and Dragons. But here's what I do know. Most RPGs, most role-playing games, when you're working on those, you have multiple areas that your character improves in, right? You have attack, defense, constitution, intelligence, whatever different area it is, right? There's lots of different things that your character improves in as you level up and as you continue to play. And guitar is much the same way, where we have our rhythm guitar skills, we have our lead guitar skills, we have our music theory knowledge, we have our phrasing ability, we have our ear training, we have our mindset and our motivation side of things. There's different areas of your playing that you can improve all at the same time. So, when it comes to when should you learn lead guitar, I think that you should start learning lead guitar as soon as possible. I think that you should jump into learning lead guitar as quickly as you can because, like I said, it's a totally different skill from just doing rhythm guitar. Because here's the thing, when you're doing rhythm guitar stuff, you're playing your chords and you're doing your finger picking or your picking patterns or stuff like that. And that's all good and well and needs to be developed. I believe a lot of people don't spend enough time developing the rhythm properly. But I don't think that should stop you from jumping in and learning lead guitar. Which, here's the hard part. When most people go to learn lead guitar, they take a confusing approach to it. So most people, when they're learning lead, what they do is they start with their minor pentatonic box patterns like this, right? And they learn a scale, and then if they're lucky, their guitar teacher says to them, okay, now learn this scale and play it up and down a little bit. And then improvise with it. Make it up. So you have to use that scale and have fun with it and start soloing. And that is a little bit tricky and can be really daunting, right? And then you learn that really quick you get stuck just playing in this box. And everybody feels like they get stuck in these pentatonic boxes. And so what I like to do with students is instead I start them out with what I call the Instant Rockstar Scale. And the Instant Rockstar Scale moves across the whole fretboard a whole lot easier. And it's a lot easier to memorize, and you can move it around the whole fretboard. And you can play major and minor songs with just the one scale. And so it's a lot easier to do that. So I think if you're learning lead guitar and you have a really simple, really effective approach like playing the Instant Rockstar Scale, you can jump into learning lead guitar a lot faster and not delay it just because you're learning all your rhythm guitar stuff first. So here's the trick. What I've done is I've actually put together a course on the Instant Rockstar Scale that goes really in depth into it. It starts from ground zero, and even if you're a total beginner and you've not been playing guitar very long at all and you can play a couple chords, you're still going to get a lot out of this course because I go through everything from ground zero. I go through what the notes are, how to find the notes, what the notes are in the scale, how to move the scale around the fretboard, how to do it in different keys, all this different stuff. And I show you how to play in major and in minor keys so that you can use the scale for both. And it's only one shape. So you only have to remember one thing, and you can play it in any key, and you can play it in major or minor, and you can have all sorts of fun with it and start impressing your friends with it right away because it's so simple. So check this out. If you go to simpleguitar.com/Instant Rockstar Scale, there you can check out a little bit more about the Instant Rockstar Scale mini course and learn a little bit more about how it's going to help you out. And right there, oh, here we go. We've got Josie on here. Josie says, I feel like rhythm makes it easier to hide my mistakes, where lead requires more precise playing. What are some good tips to increase precision and perfecting that? Okay, good question, Josie. Now, Josie, I know that you know the answer to this, but thanks for asking the question for everybody else, because that is a great question. So how do you improve it? First of all, you slow it down. That's the biggest thing. So I would do just a few notes. So you can just practice just a few notes up and down. What I'm doing there, that's just part of that scale. And I would slow it down and make sure that you've got it solid and have no questions about where you're going so that you don't have to think about, okay, now I have to go to this fret, now I have to go to this fret. And then here's the other thing. Don't do the whole scale yet. Restrict how many notes you're playing. I was actually doing this yesterday in a lesson. When you are soloing or improvising or working with a scale, an easier way to get more precise is to restrict how many notes you actually play. So check this out. If we have this whole scale, there's a lot to do because we start down here on the 3rd fret on the 6th string and we come all the way up to 12 on the 1st string. That covers a lot of ground, right? And gives you a lot of options. And one thing that a lot of guitar players will get stuck in thinking is, have I used all the notes that I can? And you don't have to use all the notes. What you do is instead just find an area that you like. And right here, I'm just sticking, this is just on my 5th and 7th frets. And I would just hang out right there. And I missed some frets for a second. But play fewer notes. If you play fewer notes, it's easier to be more precise with it and to make sure that you're not messing up because you have fewer options. And here's the cool thing. It also forces you to get a little bit more creative. So to get more precise, Josie, just like you're asking, is to increase your precision, and perfecting that is slow it down, first of all. And number 2, use fewer notes. So don't use the whole scale and don't feel like you have to use the whole scale. I would just use a little bit for a little while and then move up to another part of it and use a small part of that and then shift to another part. So restrict how many notes you're using for how long. Now that's one of the things that is cool about the Instant Rockstar Scale is you'll notice when you're listening to like guitar solos, John Mayer just talked about this on his channel, is generally speaking in solos, you want to go up in pitch. And so with the Instant Rockstar Scale, it facilitates that because you can start out just playing low and you can just create some phrases that are lower, and then as the solo goes on, you can move up a little higher, and then as the solo goes on, right? And have all sorts of fun, so it'll facilitate that. So you can restrict it and be more precise, and then you can move up in pitch. You can have all sorts of fun. So if you're interested in checking out the Instant Rockstar Scale mini course, where we go way deeper with this, go to simpleguitar.com/Instant Rockstar Scale. This is launch week right now at the time of this live video. So there's some special deals going on for it too. One, it's at a special launch price that will go up after launch week, but there are also some exclusive bonuses that you get. One, right now, it's the first week of August 2021, and so if you get the course this week during launch week, you also get access to 4 live Q&A calls that we're going to do on Zoom next month. Throughout September, we'll do 4 of these Q&A calls. We'll go a little bit deeper. We'll answer any questions, so you can hop on to Zoom with me. We'll go through that, and we'll record all of those. So if you can't make it to one of those, it'll be recorded. If you do make it to it, you'll get the replay as well, so you'll always have access to those. And then on top of that, there's 2 versions of the course you can get. There's the basic version of the course that goes through everything you need to know to get started playing lead guitar in the easiest, most practical way using the Instant Rockstar Scale. Because what we're going to do is we're going to walk through how to play it, how to play it in major, how to play it in minor, how to play in any key, starting on your 6th string, starting on your 5th string, all over the fretboard. Okay, we're going to map out the whole fretboard so that you can play it in any key, and that includes backing tracks to do it with, that includes fretboard diagrams for you to map it out with, and lots of other cool bonuses that make it easy. And then there's the VIP version of the course, which the VIP version of the course includes 2 more master classes that go deeper. Now, the first one of those is called the root note hacking with the Instant Rockstar Scale. And so what we talk about is we talk about how you can use the root notes around your entire fretboard and use the Instant Rockstar Scale to play anywhere. So you can start from anywhere on the fretboard. And here's the cool thing. If you've ever heard like a chord progression that doesn't necessarily have a single key, or maybe it has borrowed chords, And it sounds cool. Like, for example, Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix is all major chords, and they're not all in the same key. But with what we go through in the root note hacking with the Instant Rockstar Scale, you can take chord progressions that borrow chords or that mingle keys, and you can learn how to solo and improvise over stuff like that really easily. And so that opens things up. And then the second masterclass that you get in the VIP course is about the single string Instant Rockstar Scale, which is how you can take this and do a vertical pattern with it. So just naturally with any scale that you learn these patterns. And it's easy to get stuck in these patterns, even though the Instant Rockstar Scale pattern is a lot wider and a lot bigger than what you would do for your minor pentatonic box patterns. You can still start to feel caged in and feel like you're stuck in a pattern. And so what the single string Instant Rockstar Scale does is what we do in that masterclass is I show you how to take the pattern that we use for the Instant Rockstar Scale and apply it to a single string. And that way you can free up the entire fretboard for you. So you can be playing, and then you can go up single strings, and then you can come down and do other stuff. It just makes it so much easier. And here's the cool thing about it. With other systems that I've seen, sometimes you have to guess at what pattern is going to happen next on whatever string you're changing to. But with the single string Instant Rockstar Scale, you don't have to guess. There's only one option. And we'll go through that in the VIP part of the Instant Rockstar Scale mini course. So a lot of cool stuff going on. This is launch week, so we're doing lots of fun stuff like this live to answer some questions like, when should you learn lead guitar, so that you're not just going, well, I'm just playing rhythm guitar right now, and eventually I'll learn lead guitar. I think you need to start learning lead guitar right away. If you have any interest in playing lead, start learning it. And the Instant Rockstar Scale is the easiest, most practical way to get up and playing that and doing it. So go to simpleguitar.com/Instant Rockstar Scale and check that out. Now I'm going to give a couple of minutes to see if Josie or anyone else has any other questions. And then I'm going to call it a day because I have students I got to go teach today. And so I'm going to go do that and have some fun with them. So last call, if you got any other questions or comments about guitar, about the Instant Rockstar Scale, about anything music related, or me, or actually, Rudy, come here. Rudy. Oh, he's asleep. I was going to have my dog come say hi, but he's asleep. He's a cute dog. He's a golden doodle, so he's fun. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to call it today. So when should you learn lead guitar? Right away. Start with it. And the Instant Rockstar Scale is the easiest way to do it. It's the most practical way to do it. So go check that out. I'll put the link down in the description of the replay of this. But thank you so much for joining me. This was fun. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Will be a new video coming out. So I will see you then. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Thanks a ton for being here, and I'll catch you later.